What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Claroos.
And this is Vinland, Saga, episode 3 and 4.
Yeah.
We were kind of bored.
Yeah.
By the first two.
We weren't super into it, but a lot of people were like, this show really picks up episode 5 and 6.
Well, and apparently I called it.
Yeah.
That
this is all flashback.
This is like, in the manga, this is a flashback to Thorfinn's, when Thorfinn's an adult, that happened later in the manga. And it just feels like that. And so it just feels like narratively it isn't as fleshed out story-wise as I feel like the main character's plot of something should be.
Yeah.
And so I'm really curious to see what like changes in terms of pacing when we actually get into the main character's plot line.
Yeah,
instead
for
of
sure.
His dad's, the like lessons he learned from his dad's stuff.
Yeah, because like that stuff is interesting, but I think that there's a reason that it's written as flashback. I don't know if it works as well in this format. We'll find out.
Well, and usually when you're writing flashback, you write with a little bit more broad strokes because it has to be thematically very tied into the much finer detailing of your main character's current storyline.
Yeah.
And I think that what happened when they tried to take that like broad strokes kind of flashback scene and they made it the first thing that happens in the show feels very generic.
Yeah.
Right? And not bad. And like we said in those reactions, nothing in the first episodes was bad or poorly done. It was just kind of not new or unique in any way.
Yeah. It didn't really, was not enthralled.
Having said that, I'm actually really excited to kind of see what happens when you adapt something like this and how that impacts the storytelling. Because I don't think I've ever seen something try and adapt out of order like that, especially in anime, which is usually so faithful to the manga. Because animes are usually made to just sell more of the manga. Yeah. So this will be a fun like experiment in something I've never seen before. Yeah,
we're gonna figure it out together.
Yeah. Also, the animation's great, so let's keep watching. If you want the full length reaction, go to patreon.com/nerdynightly. And if you don't, stay here because you're already here, and we're about to get going.
You can have your way with his ship along with the cargo.
Did he just imply that he can fuck the ship? I know there are guys who fuck their cars, but...
I knew you guys were fond of playing by the rules, but after all the time that's passed, is it worth the trouble?
Good question.
Yeah.
But also, Floki, why didn't you just kill him yourself?
You came here to hire me to execute one of your own men. Why not do it yourself?
Hey.
I wish I could have seen that.
Maybe he isn't all talk.
Oh, shit.
Okay, now it made sense. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
I thought it was just a negotiating tactic, but that made it so much cooler.
Yeah. I was like, why? Okay.
That scene, more interesting than anything that happened in the first two episodes.
Yeah.
Could I have a word? Move it! Who's here first? Hey! Hilva!
Oh, she's popular.
Yeah, clearly.
Blondes have more fun.
Be careful.
Walk in front of me, all right? Excuse me,
I did love that her dress got embarrassed with her.
And I have some influence there. So, as soon as I've traded my goods, I'll bring those young men back.
That's not how that works.
That's not happening.
That boy just pledged his honor on his axe. He is not coming back empty-handed.
He's dead.
Sir!
Dude, are they all on one side?
Row together!
This is gonna go really well.
Fuck. Could that possibly work?
Don't worry about it.
I just love that they built the oar.
I know.
Like Thorfinn, because Thor's had to go into a carpenter and be like, look, I have the strength of 5 men.
Yeah.
With the current and the wind, the ship should be sailing itself now.
So, does that mean there's no turning back now, Father?
Yes, you could say that. Who called me father?
Surprise! Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, right? That feels so good. Those hands are very strategically placed.
Yes, they are.
I hope he washes them.
He will not until Saturday.
Right. They only wash on Saturdays.
Maybe I'll start living like a Viking. I'll only wash on Saturdays, wipe on Wednesdays, eat
Absolutely
tacos
not.
on Tuesdays.
Yeah, the Vikings, famous for their Taco Tuesdays.
White people taco night.
To prove yourself? Because you know my daughter has a preference for strong men. Attracting her will be difficult.
Well, what can I say?
Got him.
Called out.
Do you like Ilva, Ari?
Yes, how could I not? She's beautiful.
And...
No. That's
Oh,
the only
Saga.
thing that matters about women.
Right.
Yeah.
Give her a name.
In the last 15 years spent together, that's the only time Helga's ever been angry with me.
She's a patient woman.
Yeah.
Because I know you've deserved it more than just that one time.
Look! The Faroe Islands are ahead!
That was sweet.
Yeah.
I like the scene a lot.
Yeah, that was great. We also, like, actually get an idea of what he was before all of this.
Thorfinn, you planning to sail all the way to England with us?
Mm-hmm. Where's he gonna go? Just gonna drop
Norway.
him off? Like...
Yeah. No, Leif Erikson will take him back.
Maybe.
I think that's why Thors isn't freaking out about it, because he's already planning on sending these boys back.
Right.
But something's different from the last time I was out here.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
The number of houses has changed. There aren't as many of them.
Then we should turn back. Now. It doesn't feel right here.
Don't worry about damaging the ships. Do it now!
Oh, shit. Row faster, row faster, row faster, row faster, row faster.
They're coming. We're about to meet our captors, so prepare yourselves.
What?
Cool.
Nothing we can't handle. There are only 2 ships.
You gotta get your shit together.
It's not okay.
What do we do?
Stay here, I got this. Hey, 1v1 me, bro.
Yeah.
Use this only to protect yourself. Understand? Only as a last resort.
I really want Thorfinn to just, like, fuck them all up at that age.
Oh my god. They're like, aw, so cute. He just stabs him in the eye.
What do you say?
Be my guest. He seems to be just as eager as you.
Did he jump?
Yes.
How?
This is not Dungeons and Dragons. People can actually jump in this world.
Oh, yes.
You're not welcome on this ship, you bastard!
Oh my god. He's not even gonna pull his fucking sword out.
Right?
Not bad. Troll of Yam.
Fun.
Goddamn.
Fun,
Okay.
fun.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I definitely think I'm, like, more interested in it.
Yes.
And not just because of the action, like, even the, like, slow, burny stuff was a little bit more character-driven this episode.
And the flashback within this flashback.
Was really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, everything that was good about episode 1 and 2 is still good here.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, they have actually sort of set the narrative on its path. It just kind of took a long time to do that.
And there was a lot of good dialogue and intrigue between, like, the guy who like ordered who's trying to kill the guy and who he hired.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the guy that he hired not just being like, yeah, whatever, but like actually kind of trying to suss out why and what his motives are behind that and whether or not, you know, it behooves him to actually follow through with it. Like, he also seems like an interesting character, even if he's not, like, a good person.
Yeah. There's an element of the show right now where Thors is so competent that it's kind of boring.
Which I think is why he won't be around.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's why this works as a flashback. Because when you make this narrative a flashback of Thorfinn's memories of his father being this larger than life, impossible
like superhero
figure, works better because it's about how Thorfinn remembers him.
Yeah.
But because right now he is the protagonist character, him not being in danger ever because he is literally impossibly whatever isn't a very interesting narrative choice.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't know that this was going to be about Thorfinn as an adult, I still wouldn't be very interested in this because I don't really care about stories where the main character is basically just
perfect,
has the strength of 85 men.
Yeah.
I personally find that to be rather boring. I've heard One Punch Man does something. I've never seen One Punch Man, but I've heard it does something interesting with that because it is the comedy of it, and the show is actually about his like emotional relationship with being unbeatable, and I think that there is something interesting to that. There isn't a lot interesting to Thor's here mechanically as a fighter because he doesn't even need to pull out his blade. He's just that good. It's episode 3. He's already unbeatable.
Yeah.
I want to move on to someone who isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's where narrative gets more interesting.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Dragon Ball Z is interesting because they keep finding people who Goku can't beat. You know what I mean? And that's important. So yeah, I don't know. I still am like, yeah, the show is like really well animated. I think the voice work is really well done.
Yeah.
For an English dub, I thought they did a great job. And I think like I still don't really know how I feel about the opening theme song, but the score of the rest of the show I think is very strong.
It's really well done.
Yeah, and it really engrossing. I feel really drawn in by the music oftentimes. And you know, sometimes I don't notice that stuff, but I've really noticed it on the show, so I'm really impressed by that.
So have I.
But yeah, I'm still. This is still a show where like it's taking a long time to get into what it is about.
Yeah.
And I think that is it's not my favorite choice.
Yeah, I'm glad we know that like episode 5, 6, there's a shift. And so I like how, you know, we have a point, we have a goal where we're gonna get to, you know, episode like 6 and then see how we feel about it to know if we want to like continue on with it. Cause yeah, you know, like this was definitely more interesting than the last 2 episodes. Still wasn't like my favorite thing in the world. And so, you know, if we don't end up loving it by episode 6, we probably will just find something else that we're gonna really enjoy.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not that the show is bad.
No, like we might like throw it on our own time just to like watch it. But in terms of like we prefer reacting to things that we love.
Yeah, we're trying to do less of the like grinding it out reactions because I don't think that people enjoy watching us watch that. Like,
yeah.
I will say like this was a step in the right direction for me.
For sure.
But I'm still not hooked. So let's watch the next one. I've heard the ending of episode 4 is fantastic. So let's watch the next episode and maybe it'll have kind of like the moment. I just want to. I like it right now. I just want to feel hooked by it. You know what really helped me this episode before we move on? Ari and the boys. Because their perspective, because they had something to learn, I think that Thor's is just kind of like, yeah, I've done this a million times. We're just going to go do the thing. It's fine. Calm. And so the boys, Ari's perspective was really interesting to me. And his kind of... him and Thorfinn have a similar perspective, right? They want this war. They want honor. They want to prove themselves. But Ari's just at an age where he actually might be able to do that, and Thorfinn isn't.
Yeah.
And so I think actually building up Ari as a character in this episode really helped me have a little bit more of an in.
Yeah.
And so I have a couple of ins. I just I want that hook.
Yeah.
And I don't feel it yet.
No, me neither.
But I like the music a lot.
Well, we'll see. You know, a lot of people love the show. We'll see if it hooks for us.
All right. Let's dive into the next episode. Let's do this.
This guy's like, I should not have eaten that mushroom.
Woo! Really nice of them to attack him one at a time.
The hell is he?
Okay.
He ate the mushroom.
That's not what mushrooms do in the real world.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not how mushrooms work. I thought this was going to be like a real world Viking show. I did not realize there was magic in it.
Yeah.
He must have eaten the berserker mushroom.
Okay, there's a yeah. I guess there's a name for it. Interesting. I thought this was more like bio like world than fantasy world. That actually makes more sense with Thor's strength then.
Yeah.
He's not even phased by that. You know what I mean? So narratively, it's a little bit like, okay, yeah.
Oh, it's just a hallucinogen. Like a trance-like state. Okay. In regards to the legends, this is actually pretty accurate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I take it back.
They're said to not been able to like distinguish friend from foe. It makes them hallucinate. It makes them like rage.
Why would anyone take that on a battlefield?
Because the Vikings are fucking psycho.
There.
Don't you boys want to play with us?
Bro, you just saw, like... Yeah, I don't know if it makes you, like, that strong, but...
That wasn't him. Thor didn't take the mushroom, and he's the fucking Hulk.
Thor's!
Superhero landing, let's go!
I like that he only brings out the sword to attack wood.
Mm-hmm. Why hasn't... Thor's is the dad, right? And Thorfinn is
Thorfinn's the son.
Why hasn't Thor's been, like, training the village boys in hand-to-hand combat?
Because he didn't want them to be warriors.
Yeah, but, like, there are a lot of uses for hand-to-hand combat that's non-lethal in a world like this.
I mean, he might have been. The kids were playing war games, right?
Yeah,
enough
but they
so
were
that
just
enough so
bonking
that
each
Thorfinn
other.
no, Thorfinn broke that kid's fucking arm.
Yeah, because he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that he learned some of that from his father.
I don't know, it just doesn't seem
This
like
makes it seem like these pirates are coming. Wait, does he join the pirates? Wait, spoilers in the fucking opening credits.
Well,
What the
yeah,
fuck?
that's why this guy's here and he looks older. Did you not notice that before?
I haven't really been watching the credits until now.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have been. But yeah, that's Thorfinn and that's the guy. Like,
What happens at the end of this episode? Now I'm really curious.
We're the ones with the high ground, so why are they stalling like this?
It's a great question.
We should go fight with him! Hold your tongue! He doesn't need amateurs. Besides...
I'm just gonna get in the way.
Hold your tongue!
We're nothing more than a bunch of children! We have to let him handle it.
Like the music here, with the like Celtic-y kind of high notes, but then this like techno-y kind of underbeat is a really
Really well
nice... Yeah.
Yeah.
You must be the one in charge. In the name of the almighty Odin, I challenge you to a duel.
Can I ask you a question? What makes you think that I'm their leader?
You're the only one wearing armor.
When not holding a weapon.
It's the dead.
I smell it.
Parent?
That's quite impressive. All right, then I'll accept the duel.
Not even hard to figure out, dude. All right, here we go.
The same sort of scent as mine. Expected of the troll of Yam.
He knows me.
Floki sent you.
All right.
Yeah.
Father's a better man than some dirty pirate like you!
Hey, stand back.
And he's really powerful too!
This is why you don't bring children to the battlefield.
Yeah, no.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay.
Just about to scratch.
No one has what it takes to defeat our leader.
Dude, you need to work on your cardio. You're already out of it? God damn. This is sick.
Yeah.
That's it, Father! Show that man who's the strongest!
Oh, Thorfinn. I'm really worried he's about to watch his dad die.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, shit.
That's it. A wide swing.
Damn.
I love the monologuing over the fight.
Yeah, right?
So, do you think he's going to be honorable in defeat?
I don't know.
I know, I can't tell either. That's fun. That was a great fight.
Yeah.
What's the matter? Do it already. The only way this duel can end is if one of us dies.
Interesting.
My head's throbbing. What's this?
What happened?
Seems like I've missed something.
The mushroom doesn't last very long.
One who's a great warrior doesn't need a sword.
I need to ask you something. Do you want to become our leader, Thors?
I did not see that coming.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Come on, nobody's laughing. That was supposed to be funny, you know?
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it.
All of you cowards, stay back!
Oh, shit.
You actually thought for 1 minute I'd play by the rules? I just wanted to test your mettle myself.
Okay, here we go. We got us all standoff.
The winner of this duel is Thors the Troll.
I just want him to flex him.
Yeah, no.
Holy shit.
He's only a boy. But just look into those eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they watched his dad die.
Like earlier today, dude.
Yeah.
What'd you think was gonna happen?
He'll die soon anyway.
Look, all I'm saying is, if anger and hatred kept Darth Maul alive in the base of Naboo for years, Thorfinn is gonna be just fine. Cool, cool, cool. All right, that is episode 4. That is the thing that people said, like, you gotta get to this, and this is where the show starts working. So I have to ask you, Clarooster, did the show start working?
We're like really close, I think. I see where the show's going now. I feel like I understand like what the story is supposed to be and maybe what it will have to say in a vague sense. And so it has like gradually gotten better each episode.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like yeah.
I don't think it's gotten better. I think it was always good. I think it's gotten more interesting each episode.
Sorry, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's the right way to say it.
The quality of it is really high.
Yes, absolutely.
The like level of which I feel like pulled into it has changed each episode.
Yeah, it's a little bit more and more.
I will kind of say, I kind of feel like that was it. Okay, that was a great 4-episode story. We're done. Except for that last scene with the kid on the boat.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you talking about?
It kind of it just kind of felt like I watched like a movie, like a simple movie that didn't have a lot to it. But yeah, it's very interesting. I feel like what is gonna feel weird about like the future of this show is there's a lot of narrative stuff that was in these 4 episodes that I wasn't particularly interested in. That I feel like is going to come back in like 15 episodes.
Yeah.
Like his sister and his mom. Like it feels like Thorfinn is going to go away for a long time.
Yeah.
And then we're going to catch up with those characters again later. Mm-hmm. And maybe they come back right away. And I think, I don't know. I'm really curious. We spent a lot of time with a lot of people on Thor's Island. Or not his island, but in his village in Iceland.
Yeah.
And I'm curious for when those people start coming back into the show.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're in the flashbacks because they're important to the main plot.
Yeah.
Like I do wonder if when we see Ari again, he's married to Ilva. You know?
I doubt it.
I don't know. I think that like the beginnings of their relationship being shown in the flashback makes sense. Because if we cut if in the manga we meet them together first, then the flashback is what was the beginning of their courtship.
Oh,
right?
I understand.
So there's stuff like that like it is really I'm so curious as far as what about this as a flashback is set up by the stuff that in the manga came before it. And what comes right after this flashback in the manga that we're not going to get to until after we do the stuff in the manga that came before the flashback.
Right. Interesting.
So, like, that's just an interesting kind of, like, it's going to be interesting to get to the point where the flashback comes in the manga, having already seen this here and seen how it, like, stitches into that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, this wasn't a very complicated story. It's kind of just like a simple premise that's done really well with one fight that's really, really, like, the fight in this episode is really successful.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Ari Aster, or whatever the fuck his name is, Askcaster, he's an interesting character, and I'm, like, excited to see what his and Thorfinn's relationship is as Thorfinn grows up.
Right.
And
see if Leaf comes back.
Oh, Leaf definitely.
I feel like he's got it. Yeah.
I'm interested in the comparison that this has with Attack on Titan, where the comparison people who watch Attack on Titan were like, the things that you don't like about Attack on Titan. Vinland Saga has the things that you like about Attack on Titan.
Yes.
Without the things that you don't.
Yes.
And I'm very curious now that we've seen this episode. I understand what that comparison is.
Oh,
right?
yeah, totally.
The difference obviously being that the big question around where does our main character's anger come from in this show doesn't have the, like, he doesn't know element.
Yeah.
This show's going to be dealing with anger from the perspective of a character who very much knows where his anger is placed.
Yeah.
And understands why he's in the situation he's in.
And the rules of the world aren't like kept behind a veil for the. No, I mean, like it seems pretty clear to me.
I just mean I'm curious how many more super people we're going to meet.
That's just an anime thing, though.
Yeah, but it gets into the same issue that I have with, like, that I had in Bahubali, right?
Yeah.
Which was that if you're going to have people doing larger than life things, then either the world is all larger than life, or not at all.
Yeah.
Like, and so sometimes shows will have one character who is so much larger than everything else, but there's no explanation for why. They're just super strong to a point that is
because it's from Thorfinn's eyes, right? It's from his perspective.
Sure. And I can totally dig that.
Yeah.
If the show doesn't keep having there be, like, characters who are just like, oh no, this guy can take out 87 men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or can lift 2 men. Like, it's a level of strength that doesn't exist.
I mean, yeah, it's slightly exaggerated because it's animated, but, like, that's, to me, that's not like the rules of the world are nebulous like they are in Attack on Titan.
I don't think it is yet, but it could get there if we keep running into the only characters that really matter are the ones that have whatever are the super strong ones. Right?
Yeah. It's hard for us to know because, like you said, we've only seen this flashback through Thorfinn's eyes, and so we don't know how exaggerated his abilities actually are.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of hoping that settles down moving into the rest of the show, and that this exists as, like, Thorfinn's memories of his dad being this mythological level warrior from his youth, and that we kind of settle into a more realistic kind of level of combat. Because I think the combat is animated so well that I would like to be really invested in the danger of it and not in kind of the, like, the battle droids kind of element of it where he's just kind of bop bop a doo da bop 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 bop. That to me is just less interesting to watch than the final fight there, because, you know, obviously Thor's was winning the whole time, but there was still a fight. There was still some evenly matchedness, and that just is more interesting when your main characters are in danger. And when you tell me, like, don't worry, they're so good, you don't have to worry about them, I go, okay, then I'm not worried about then I'm not interested.
Yeah, but then one guy who that was true about is dead, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. And so I and again, like, if the show turns out that there are a bunch of people who are magically strong, and that is what this kind of becomes, as long as the show gets into why, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the issue I had with the characters that had like magic powers in Attack on Titan, was the ones that had literal fucking superpowers, and the show just never addressed.
Yeah.
And like that, it just kind of bugged me.
Yeah.
That I was like, wait, but what do you mean? Like, why is this a problem?
Yeah.
And that's what it gets into, is like, why is this a problem? Right? And I think that sometimes shows don't do a great job of addressing why there is a problem in the room, because there are characters that should be able to solve it that just aren't for narrative reasons.
Yeah.
And so I it's why magic sometimes gets a little bit questionable in narrative, because you're like, okay, but like,
can't you just do the thing?
it's like in the first Harry Potter book when Ron's like, you're a fucking wizard, Hermione. Like, what are you talking about? You need sunlight or fire or whatever it is. You're a fucking wizard. It's that issue, but unlike that, a lot of things just don't address it, and you're like, well, this wasn't a problem. That person could have solved this the whole time. And so I'm just curious how the show's going to handle that moving forward.
Yeah, especially because this seems like a very, to be actually, I don't know. I don't know if this is like the hard end of like flashback and we're going to jump forward in time a little bit, or if we're going to like watch Thorfinn like on the boat, like follow them and yeah, actually, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
I'm excited to watch the next episodes because I think that we're about to actually start watching the show.
Yeah.
And stop watching the prequel show.
Yeah.
The prequel show was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I think that it's well written and it's well animated. It was a little generic, and I'm hoping that it is because the remainder of what we're going to see in this is set up by this, but is a little bit more complicated and a little bit more just has a little bit more beneath the surface, as opposed to kind of being the like tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
This definitely feels like a pivot point for the show. Yeah.
It's interesting, and the animation's like flawless, and the music, and when the music cut out, like that, when it was just the light wave noises under Thor's and Asscaster talking, that scene, like the sound design of that scene was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it's been spot on for the show, and like you said it in the previous episode, like that's not something like I super noticed, but I really have noticed it in this one.
Yeah, it's really working for me. I feel very like sonically drawn into the world, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes shows are like very much in my eyes and in front of me, and there are some shows that feel like they're around me a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I feel like the sound design of the show it really like I feel like it's back here too.
Yeah.
Even though we're listening through one ear pod each, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise we talk too loud because we're trying to talk over the two.
Well, and then yeah.
But yeah, no, I really like the sound design of the show. I'm really in the combat, in the boats, the way the oars are, the sound design of the oars moving in the ocean. Like I think there's a lot of really successful sound design in the show.
Absolutely.
That makes the world feel more real. Right?
Yes.
It's cool.
I will 100% agree with that. It grounds it so well.
Yeah, but now we're done with the prequel. Let's get into the actual show next time. If you like this video, like it and subscribe to the channel. Reboot. If you like the channel video, what? Wow. If you like the video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below, because Algorithm God is hungry and we must feed her. In this episode, there were no women, so there's no Algorithm Goddess. The episode 3, Helga, standing up to your husband once in your life.
Yeah.
That scene was very cute.
Yes, it was.
It was very cute. I'm making jokes. If you want to follow us on the internet, you can. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
As always, y'all, do something nerdy tonight.
Bye.
Bye.